Hello, my name is Hector Flores, and I'll talk about the impact of COVID-19 on higher education. The outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic since early 2020 has dramatically impacted higher education development in various aspects, including the shift of face-to-face teaching to online teaching and learning, the cancellation of physical events and activities, and the formation of a new normality in higher education. The outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic since early 2020 has dramatically impacted higher education development in various aspects, including the shift of face-to-face teaching to online teaching and learning, the cancellation of physical events and activities, and the formation of a new normality in higher education. While the COVID-19 has brought many challenges to higher education in teaching, learning, research collaborations, and institutional governance, it also brings about an excellent opportunity for various stakeholders to rethink and even redesign higher education with an effective risk management plan to make this sector more sustainable and resilient in the future. Meanwhile, this crisis forces higher education stakeholders to reconsider the role of information and communication technologies, especially online learning in higher education. Even though online learning has been treated as a remedy for higher education problems like rising tuition costs, both students and instructors have expressed many negative concerns regarding learning effectiveness and interactions during the pandemic. The influence of the COVID-19 pandemic is significant in international higher education, especially student mobility. Due to the travel restrictions and campus closure, many students changed or canceled their plan of studying abroad. The barriers for students to pursue their further degrees overseas include travel bans, visa restrictions, and campus lockdowns in destination countries, as well as students and their families' worries on health and safety. In this sense, higher education institutions in the major destination countries like the US, Australia, and the UK have anticipated a considerable decrease of incoming international students in the coming semesters. The COVID-19 pandemic also changed the way that each factor affecting students and their families in their decisions and country choices of studying abroad. The pandemic has put health, security, and safety as priorities in their decision making. Even though the adverse impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic on international higher education and student mobility have been well recognized, some scholars still hold an optimistic view that the international student mobility will remain strong after the pandemic, just like the situations of the SARS in 2003 and the economic crisis in 2008. In addition, the previous efforts of globalization and internationalization of higher education in each country have laid a solid basis for student mobility, including a compatible education systems, integrated credit transfer systems, and stimulating policies for students exchange. Definitely, we have learned a lot about how to deal with technology and use it with educational purposes effectively. Once education goes back to normal, there will be more resources. International education will go back to normal soon, but we will have learned a lot about how to deal with similar situations.